So yeah, I'm going to read a few poems from the book. I'm going to try to read some that I haven't read recently just to kind of mix it up a little bit. Okay. So, sorry. The first one I'm going to read is To Quantify Exposure. Zone it all. Prohibit the overcold, the low laying and vulnerable. Buffer each watershed tendril and buffer your loved ones with great care not to buffer your love. When thinking of the tundra, rest your mind on successively less desperate organisms. Polar bears may only hold your attention for so many seconds, lest the Arctic's greening and the musk of unfrozen mud work its way up your ankles. Do not think of albedo. Do not think of life as a succession of leavings. Draw flow diagrams. Land's hazards curve with the Earth's contours. Land's hazards have their own gravities. Prohibit the overdry, the eroded coast. Build back from the cliff face and factor beauty as a colluder with risk. Do not list your lovers or wonder pointedly whether they think of you. Do not drink away your fear of dying alone. Do not think about sunk costs or how ponderously the man-made habitat has expanded around you, how road sound hums you now to sleep. Okay, the next poem I'm going to read is Climate Adaptation Planning. Loud leaves, honorable, proud and on schedule deaths that mock with their sloppy downdrift, loose arcs, and the smug limbs that scratch after their shed, and my used up cuticles dried, peeled off, while my life is so stuck to me. Lone gunman, bone white, so broken, defrag of national pastimes, first person shoot her, laugh at any lonesome crazy, list 10 women, which 2 have been hurt by their elided abusers. I have been raped by an elided agent, his academic career, his gilded friends, his beautiful daughter, his beautiful bookshelves silly with women who have been hurt by elided agents, case studies, in anger's incubation. Women make incredible victims, live to be lifted in public estimation. We brave, we survivors, we denied our lived experiences, given the full heft of events. She was raped. Nameless agents incubated anger. She was raped. Rage grows a muzzle, a snub nose. The lone gunman's wife, was she white? Was she mother? Was she working? Where did her gaze fall upon the non-body, the non-agent? Did she take him with her gaze when she was laid upon? How the leaves lay down so the canopy can't snag raindrops before they reach the asphalt. And so how that asphalt gathers, drops through conduits, and runoff traces land's crevices, how runoff cleaves the land and leaves its lacerations. It was raining, but who rained? Tell me, who rained here? Thank you. Sorry, and I should have, I intended to give a little bit of a content warning. This book does deal with personal experiences of sexual violence and, just to, yeah, I like for people to be able to engage with that sort of content on their own terms, and hate to spring it on people, but yeah, sorry, should have given a heads up. This next poem is titled Irresistible. The drake's infamous corkscrew penis is flashier than the cloaca, and whether it wets or stretches to accommodate. I teach my students English words for herbs, English words for their uses. Once, I stuffed a man's pockets full of rosemary, and the reek of it shook me open whenever he looked at me. A crowd of strangers gathers at the estuary's edge to watch the drake circle and charge the duck. Her ducklings scatter and reassemble like metal shavings around a magnet. My lover's hands find my throat because I have asked them to. My body, a bundle, a needle twanged into a north, twined sage that smolders. My students crush mint into honeyed teas to settle their stomachs, grind mint into slabs of meat. I buy my new lover tamarind paste. If I steady my gaze, his lip flinches and he snarls his head back, equine, offers his own neck. Some nights, my brainstem dangles from his grip. I wipe the names of herbs off the whiteboard, having gathered their attributes and uses into the fist of a word. Irresistible to give a name and be taken by one. Have I become pungent? Once, a man who shook rosemary from his pocket became enraged. He raped my friend. She wrote letters, poems. She reported him. She told. We snatched back at pleasure, wrapped our legs around each other's faces, dangled our legs in the filthy water of Bayou St. John. She appealed, litigated, loved fiercely, and nothing affixed a consequence to him. Our classmates, colleagues, mentors refused to latch the word rapist to him. It's irresistible, isn't it, to give the benefit of the doubt? Irresistible to doubt women? My new lover curls his knuckles around a cue stick to shoot pool with the rapist. Balls clack. Who could resist this evasion of names? Rapist, rapist, rapist. Licorice steam eases the swell of knuckles. My dumb lover hinged over green felt, his grip hinged under my jaw as I've asked it. Choke me, sudden. His eased joints boil around my throat like clouds of licorice steam seep into arthritic hitches, deliberate. Gathered. Park goers watch the duckbill shoved under brown water by the drake that boards her, and I stare at my lover's hands, the ankle of the once broken pinky, the swollen joints, the shallow beds of bitten nails. Hands I've loved, hands I'd recognize anywhere, hands I'd know if I'd severed them. Okay, I think I'm going to do two more. Okay. This poem is titled Specimen. Given. The crisp earth lurches from its courage. The prism unhinges its facets, and each of the laugh's halves slaps you with its staccato. I am here with you, planet. My surfaces, too, are impervious. Laughs splash against my manufactured facade and cannot work into the dirt of me. Given. Risk elimination splits land in its own spots. The state is made of flame-hungry stuff. The state is made of taking. The state rests in a floodplain where lovers love nakedly while the world's lungs fill with smoke and water. I've lost my clothes and my old protocols. My pores clamor for your vanishing points, for packaged lathers that might collapse me back to babyhood. Have you accepted our ravishing? This Anthropocene is a gas. I laughed about the last black rhinoceros, then tattled on my last rapist. What good is a good name if you do no good with it? We damned and extracted you, those lapping waters, that flammable stuff. You asked for it. Capitalism is the bad friend who says you're lucky to get touched at all. With a mug like that, but planet, I will love you better. I have seen your red teeth, your phenotypes collected in jars. My body, too, could use a treatment plant, a catalog. My body, my habitat withered, given a list of risky attributes, concretized, topples. And a laugh has its facets, its back to the wall. Its glitz is where manufacture stalls. And this is the last poem that I will read, kind of continuing with a little bit of the sort of climactic environmental grief. Post-mortem. When they slice open the beached sperm whale, they find 64 pounds of trash in its digestive system, which doesn't seem like much for a 30-ton animal. I dip straws into my coffee to preserve the sheen of my teeth. House cats aren't pack animals, but after following rodents to the fringes of human settlements, they developed several means to express their needs to people. The whale was severely underweight for its species. I am not without needs. Fragrant shampoos, a mechanical hum to muffle the night's sirens and dawn's honks of lofted waterfowl. A 2018 study finds microplastic particles in 93% of the 259 bottles of water tested. Conservative estimates of fragment, fiber, pellet, film, foam, trash bags, and net segments tangled in the whale's intestines, a drum, among other things. The dumb beat of my heart, my car inert and scattered with wrappers. I'd famish without plastic wrapped vegetables, landfills to grow grandiose on the sheaths of all I've eaten. A drum, a rupture, straw popped into a juice carton, the silk-like membrane separating abdominal wall and organs split by sharp plastics the whale couldn't pass. Aquafina, Dasani, Evian. After an apocalypse, clangor, then quiet. Symptoms of which include bloat and nausea. My courage strains to breach convenience. Bagged fruit rots in my office locker. Less than 0.1% of the whale's body weight was inhabited by trash. A silk-like membrane separates the constant hum of human comfort from clamor, then silence. Symptoms of which include thick urine and thirst. When my orange tabby scratches certain furniture, I shoo him outside, where he torments the morning birds. Plastics could not dislodge. I know of my own synthetic toxins, compulsive thoughts, small rots, baggy trapped flags that wind snap. Symptoms of which include constipation and vomiting. I'm not more complex than what I'd sacrifice. Bagged garbage, casual discards. Sperm whales click in complex codas. Clans have dialects. The internet gives us the sea's receipts. Line tangled rays approaching divers, turn bodies rotted around bottle caps, a seahorse clinging to a Q-tip adrift. A 2018 study finds plastic fibers in 94.4% of tap water samples taken in the United States. The vowel sounds of a cat's meow hint at its dispatch. Long O for loneliness, short E as in greeting. I consider myself fluid, twisting a cotton bud in my ear hole, adaptable, tearing open packaged nuts with my teeth, sleeping hot, sleeping cold, Schrodinger's low-hanging fruit, passing a credit card's worth of microplastic each week in my feces. A nuisance species inhales its own atmosphere, itches. Symptoms of which include tenderness, symptoms of which include genocide, lands milked dry of plenty. Eventually, they'll know we were here by these bright trails of refuse, refusing to rot. Thank you.